promising 19 lakh jobs. Meanwhile, the Chirag Paswan-led Lok Janshakti Party has stated it will create an online portal that connects employers with job seekers. Party heavyweights kicked off campaigns yesterday across the state. Today, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and BJP Chief JP Nadda will lead the NDA's charge with rallies in Begusarai, Nalanda and Vaishali, while Tejaswi will campaign for the Mahagathbandhan at Bhagalpur, Munger and Jamui. With Chief Minister Nitish Kumar by his side, Prime Minister Modi addressed 3 rallies and warned voters against opposition misrule. Listen in.
जब बिहार ने इन लोगों पर विश्वास किया है, बिहार के साथ, बिहार के गौरव के साथ विश्वासघात किया गया है। बिहार को लूटकर इन लोगों ने अपने परिवार की तिजोरियां भरी हैं। बिहार में पहले जो सरकारें रही, सिर्फ और सिर्फ झूठे वादे किए।
पहली कुल्हाड़ी नोटबंदी, दूसरी कुल्हाड़ी जीएसटी, 2 कुल्हाड़ी हमारी। और अब कहते हैं 19 लाख युवाओं को हम रोजगार देंगे। अच्छा भैया, 19 लाख युवाओं को रोजगार दोगे तो पिछले 7-8 साल से आप क्या कर रहे थे? पिछले 6 महीने में आपने किया, उससे पहले आपने क्या किया? चुनाव आया तो 19 लाख युवाओं को रोजगार मिलेगा। जैसे पहले कहा था 15 लाख रुपए बैंक अकाउंट में जाएंगे, वैसे कह रहे हैं अब 19 लाख लोगों को रोजगार मिलेगा।
आप लोग बताओ, 15 साल में नीतीश जी रोजगार दिए, कारखाना लगाए, पलायन रोके, गरीबी मिटाए, किसानों के लिए सिंचाई का व्यवस्था कराए। तो आप बताओ, जिसको रोजगार था उसको भी मोदी जी ने छीन लिया, नीतीश जी ने छीन लिया। जो शुगर मिल, पेपर मिल, जूट मिल जो चालू था वो भी बंद हो गया। नीतीश जी, आप थक चुके हो, आपसे बिहार संभलने वाला नहीं है।
We're joined by Maria Shakil, who's reporting from Battleground, Bihar. Maria, good morning. After 15 years at the helm, the NDA is now focusing on the much-touted jungle Raj of the RJD, even invoking nationalist issues during the campaigns. Is Nitish Kumar's track record as Sushasan Babu not delivering the desired dividends to the NDA?
Certainly, and that is the reason why they are making this comparison of 15 versus 15. What is the need of it? Could they have not kept this election only on what Nitish Kumar's track record has been? So I think there is also a sense that Nitish Kumar, delivered on certain counts. On many others, he has been found faltering. So, particularly on the issue of unemployment, the absence of jobs in the state of Bihar. So there is a sense that Nitish Kumar perhaps could have done more. And particularly in the last 6 years, there have been several, questions raised on his administration and also his governance. So there is anger against Nitish Kumar, and the BJP is hoping that anger can be neutralized with the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Because Prime Minister remains very, very popular in Bihar. There is a great degree of acceptability. In fact, even though the migrant workforce, Ayushman, interestingly, may be angry against Nitish Kumar, but as far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, they are talking about how they have benefited from the central scheme, particularly Garib Kalyan Yojana, which is essentially providing food grains and, lentils to the poorest of the poor. And the migrant workforce, they're women in the home. So that is a sense that they may be benefiting from the central schemes, but as far as the state of Bihar is concerned, the local schemes of the state is concerned, that has not been delivered to them, is what most migrant workers say. And Prime Minister, if you look at his speech, it was about road ahead. He did talk about what's next for Bihar. He did show almost like a roadmap for the state of Bihar. Now the question is, Ayushman, interestingly, that will the state of Bihar vote only and only on the issue of jobs? Will it vote only and only on the issue of, just not look at caste at all? That's highly unlikely because, Bihar is a very caste-driven, caste society where caste plays a very, very important role in deciding the voting preferences and deciding the voting choices of the electorates here. So now, on 28th and other 2 days of polling, when Bihar votes, will the people just vote on caste lines, or will they be now, looking at themselves under a larger youth umbrella? It has happened. I mean, caste barriers have been broken in the past. Because on the other hand, Tejasvi Yadav is talking about 10 lakh jobs, and which also meant that BJP included 19 lakh job promise in its own manifesto, because they understood that is one issue which is getting traction.
Thank you, Maria, for getting us that pulse from battleground Bihar. Earlier, Maria also spoke to students in Motihari in Bihar and what they expect from their netas to tackle unemployment in the state. Take a look.
बुनियादी तौर पर अगर देखें तो यहाँ पे एज ए स्टूडेंट हम ये चाहेंगे कि हमारे क्षेत्र में एजुकेशन की स्थिति अच्छी हो, और चंपारण की स्थिति ऐसी है कि दोनों चंपारण को अगर आप देख लें तो तकरीबन 1 करोड़ के आसपास हमारा पॉपुलेशन आता है, और यहाँ पे एजुकेशन की स्थिति है कि स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हमारे यहाँ कुल बिहार में 12 हैं, और इस पूरे रीजन में एक मुजफ्फरपुर में यूनिवर्सिटी है, और ये एक सेंटर की यूनिवर्सिटी है जो कि पिछले 6 वर्षों से चल रही है। स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी की स्थिति ये है कि 3 वर्षों का अंडर ग्रेजुएट कोर्स 6 वर्षों में होता है, टाइम पे बच्चों को सर्टिफिकेट नहीं मिल पाता जिससे वो अपने ये आगे के स्टडीज़ को जब देखें। तो इशू तो एक स्टूडेंट के नाते हम लोग का यही होगा कि हमारे क्षेत्र में अच्छा एजुकेशन मिले, रोजगार का।
So which party do you think will be able to address these concerns? Who is the leader that you feel will be able to address your concerns?
देखिए, अब ये हमारे पास जो विकल्प है उसमें जो अवेलेबल बेस्ट है उसे हम लोगों को चुनना पड़ेगा, तो उसमें कहीं ना कहीं जो अभी मौजूदा स्थिति है उन्हीं से उम्मीद की जा सकती है, क्योंकि
तो करंट में मतलब जो चीफ मिनिस्टर है नीतीश कुमार से,
हाँ, उन्हीं से उम्मीद की जा सकती है, क्योंकि हम पूर्व में जो 15 वर्ष पूर्व जो लोग थे उनके स्थिति उनके रीजन में क्या स्थिति थी एजुकेशन की, ये सबने देखा है, तो इन्होंने कुछ परफॉर्म किया है, इससे उनसे ही कुछ उम्मीद की जा सकती है।
अच्छा।
जो विकास करेंगे उन्हीं को हम लोग वोट देंगे। अभी तक मतलब हमारे अंदाज से कि 15 साल से अभी नीतीश कुमार हैं, तो हम लोग के लिए ये युवा के लिए हम लोग के लिए वो कुछ कर नहीं रहे हैं, तो इस बार हम लोग सोच लिए हैं कि अब की बार सरकार हम लोग बदल देंगे। मेरे पूरे फैमिली जो है बीजेपी सपोर्टर है, बट इस बार हम लोग चेंज करने का पूरा निर्णय ले लिए हैं कि अब
चेंज में कौन ऑप्शन क्या है?
ऑप्शन तो 2 ही है ना, आरजेडी और नहीं तो बीजेपी, और बीजेपी के साथ गठबंधन है उनका जदयू का, तो नीतीश कुमार हमारे अंदाज से वो सही अभी नहीं हमको लग रहा है, जिसके कारण हम आरजेडी को हम सपोर्ट करेंगे।
हम तो कहेंगे हमारे क्षेत्र में जो विकास कर रहे हैं वो आने चाहिए। अभी तो जो है विकास नदारद है, और मोती झील का विकास तो समझिए तो 10 साल हो गए, वैसे की वैसे ही
तो
है।
कास्ट पर
तो
वोट होगा?
वो कास्ट पे वोट होगा ऐसा नहीं, जो विकास करेंगे बोलेंगे कि हाँ हम ये काम करेंगे, हम मोती झील का विकास करेंगे, हम मोतिहारी का विकास करेंगे, सड़कें ठीक करेंगे, नालियाँ जो है उनको ठीक करेंगे, गंदगी को नहीं होने देंगे, नए रोजगार लाएंगे, जो भी वो हो उनको वोट दिया जाएगा। नया कैंडिडेट अभी तो नया कैंडिडेट अब देखिए थर्ड फ्रंट कोई आने वाला हो, तो ऐसा हो जो काम करे उनको वोट देंगे।
जैसा कि हम लोग जुआ यहाँ पे सब लोग खड़े हुए हैं, तो जुआ को सबसे पहले चाहिए रोजगार, और इस बार तो अभी पार्टी में ऐसा दिख नहीं रहा है जिससे रोजगार की कमी। जैसे तेजस्वी यादव कहते हैं हम आएंगे तो 8 लाख वैकेंसी देंगे, ये देंगे वो देंगे, लेकिन नीतीश कुमार थोड़ा इसमें अभी फ्लॉप है, जुआ उनसे नाराज है, फिर भी कोई ऑप्शन दिख नहीं रहा है। तो जैसे जैसे काम होता है
लेकिन फिर कोई
ऑप्शन भी तो नहीं दिख रहा है। मान लीजिए तेजस्वी यादव आएंगे तो बोलते हैं कि 8 लाख देंगे, तो फिर 8 लाख देंगे तो उसका खर्चा भी तो देना है, उसको भी पेमेंट करना होता है, बहुत सारा प्रोसेस होता है, कह देने से तो होगा कुछ नहीं।
तो
इसी के हिसाब से जो
शायद नहीं
हो सकता है, ऐसा नहीं है।
लोकसभा के चुनाव के लिए तो मोदी जी ठीक हैं, बट यहाँ पे विधानसभा का अब की बार चुनाव है तो बदलाव जरूरी है, क्योंकि 15 साल से एक ही आदमी नीतीश कुमार हैं और वो हम लोग के लिए कुछ कर नहीं रहे हैं, तो एक टाइप का ये हो गया कि जंगल राज।
Breaking news on the US elections, Democratic candidate Joe Biden has written an op-ed in India West where he has said the United States and India will stand together against terrorism in all its forms and work together to promote a region of peace and stability where neither China nor any country threatens its neighbors. Biden's op-ed comes ahead of the 2+2 dialogue. A senior U.S. administration official has said that they don't want the LAC situation to escalate any further and that their policy towards India on China will not change. So that's what's coming in from the United States. We're joined by Maha Siddiqui, who tracks foreign affairs. Maha, we were just discussing this a few minutes back. As per this, America's policy towards India is unlikely to change in the context of the LAC standoff. But is this just a standard talking point ahead of the elections?
Well, certainly for the fact that Joe Biden has written in a publication that is largely read by Indian diaspora, he is seeming to reach out to the Indian diaspora by outlining the policy towards India as well as addressing issues of Indian Americans in the U.S. as well. But if you look at foreign policy per se of any country, it does move pretty seamlessly from one government to another. Yes, in this case, the approach that Donald Trump has had towards China specifically, there could be a variation in that between a Republican or a Democrat government or administration, so to speak. So if there is a change in administration, if after the election and there is Joe Biden at the helm of affairs, their policy towards China, or at least the approach towards China, could be tweaked a bit. However, what Joe Biden is reflecting in that op-ed and what the senior U.S. official told us in the briefing yesterday is pretty much the same towards India. Both sides are pretty much on the same page. That is, both parties are pretty much on the same page that they want to deepen their ties with India. And in that context, Joe Biden has pointed out that he was the person who has, in the past, as part of the other administrations when the Democrats were in part, has facilitated closer ties between India and U.S. India is not just important for the United States in the context of Afghanistan and in the region because of Pakistan as well. But certainly now at the moment, it is important to America as a counter to China. This is something India understands, Ayushman. It's not as if India does not understand that. Right. But at the moment, since there is a crisis at the LAC, since there is tension, and we know that there is only a pause in the situation at the moment, there has not been de-escalation and disengagement. In that context, getting any sort of support from America, especially when it can have a wider ramification in the entire Indo-Pacific, considering that there is an ever more active Quad as well, the cooperation between India, US, Japan and Australia, it only goes to show that the approach towards China, if Joe Biden comes to power, could change, but the policy towards India in the sense of, trying to have a secure, free and open Indo-Pacific is unlikely to change. At least that is the sense that we're getting here.
Thank you, Maha, for that latest update on the US presidential race.
आर्टिकल 370 हटने का इंतजार देश बरसों से कर रहा था या नहीं? आज ये लोग इस फैसले को पलटने की बात कर रहे हैं।
मेरा एजेंडा तो ये है, सामने मैंने रखा है। जिस वक्त हमारा ये एजेंडा वापस आएगा, हम उस एजेंडे को भी उठा लेंगे।
So-called political parties, the so-called political leaders of Kashmir, whether they be from the PDP or from the National Conference, they sometimes tend to be even more dangerous than the apparently identified separatist groups and separatist leaders.
Out after 14 months in detention, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti now says her party won't raise the Indian flag unless they are allowed to raise the state flag of Jammu and Kashmir, which became obsolete after the abrogation of Article 370. The former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister expressed her anger against the centre, saying the people of Kashmir were not comfortable with the current regime in the valley. If that wasn't enough, Mufti said that she had no interest in fighting the elections unless special status is restored. Addressing the media, the PDP boss placed the party flag and the flag of J&K in front of her.
आज तक यहाँ के लोगों का खून बहा, अब मुझे लगता है हम जैसे लीडर्स के खून की बारी है। ये एक सियासी जंग है जो हम पुरअमन तरीके से लड़ेंगे और इसमें मैं चाहूंगी कि हमें आपके साथ की भी जरूरत है। हम तो इकट्ठे हो गए, मेरा एजेंडा तो ये है, सामने मैंने रखा है। जिस वक्त हमारा ये झंडा वापस आएगा हम उस झंडे को भी उठा लेंगे, मगर जब तक हमारा अपना झंडा डाकुओं ने डाके में ले लिया है तब तक हम किसी और झंडे को हाथ में नहीं उठाएंगे।
That on the one hand she claims to be the so-called mainstream politician of India, and on the other hand she has reservations in carrying the tricolour, which happens to be the national flag of India. And this is what we have been maintaining for the last several years, that the so-called political parties, the so-called political leaders of Kashmir, whether they be from the PDP or from the National Conference, they sometimes tend to be even more dangerous than the apparently identified separatist groups and separatist leaders.
We're joined by Mufti Islah on this story. Mufti, good morning. With the top leadership out of detention now, should the centre be wary of this political union and the unrest that they could potentially spark?
I think they are already, and yesterday Prime Minister Modi also spoke, if one recalls, in Bihar rally, and you have the comment of Mr. Jitendra Singh, PMO, Minister of State for PMO. Clearly Delhi is also reacting, but what is more important is yesterday's Mahbooba Mufti's press conference. It was after 14 months of her incarceration that she came out, and she took on Delhi very, very strongly, saying that, well, Delhi was like a bandit who had dropped the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. And she had many things to say. In fact, she did come out, and in front of that table, there was no tricolour, only the party flag and the flag of Jammu and Kashmir, clearly suggesting that, she's going to hold tricolour only when the Kashmir flag is restored. So clearly, she had not said it in words, but she meant it by deeds also. The other thing she said was that the people here should be united, and it was time for the leadership to give sacrifices for the cause. She's referring to restoration of Article 370 and 35A. And she did say, we're referring to the flag, when the Kashmir flag comes back, we will raise that flag also, mentioning the tricolour. So very strong words yesterday, and at least on 6 or 7 occasions she did refer to Delhi as bandits who had looted and plundered the constitution by taking away rights of the people. So heavily worded, and she was unforgiving and scathing in her attack against the centre. How are they going to plan this and take this moment forward, quote unquote? That is something one needs to see, but she did say that all mainstream parties were one on this, and they were on the same page, and they have pledged to fight back on restoration of Article 370 and 35A.
Thank you, Mufti, for that update from the Kashmir Valley. We're getting some breaking news from the battlefield Bihar. Chirag Paswan has hit out at Nitish Kumar over prohibition of liquor in Bihar. Chirag Paswan has tweeted that Biharis are becoming smugglers due to prohibition. Bihar's mothers and sisters do not want to see their sons become smugglers. All Bihar ministers and the chief minister know that Bihar is moving towards smuggling liquor in the absence of employment. That's what's coming in from Chirag Paswan. Chirag Paswan breaking ties from the NDA, standing against Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, and now hitting out at Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's signature policy of prohibition in the state. He is saying that the prohibition policy is not working, and at the same time it has led to an escalation of smuggling in the state, which is as people are struggling with employment, smuggling is also on the rise. We're joined by Maria Shakil on this story. Maria, I remember you spoke to a lot of female voters in Bihar who have said that the prohibition has not solved many of the problems that they thought it would.
So the larger sentiment here is, Ayushman, that prohibition has led to black marketing, that it has not led to behavioral changes or improvement in the lifestyle of women of Bihar, because their men who are into alcohol get that, alcohol perhaps at a more higher price, and that means that they're draining out of the household resources. Having said that, why is Chirag Paswan attacking Nitish Kumar on the issue of prohibition? Because that is actually turning out to be Nitish Kumar's, turning away this caste-neutral constituency of Nitish Kumar. Remember, Ayushman, in 2010 election, in 2015 election, Nitish Kumar created this very important caste-neutral constituency, which is called the Women of Bihar. This constituency was driven by the promise of safety and security, which was evident in the initial years of Nitish Kumar. They were driven by the fact that their girls were given bicycles, they could go to schools easily. And Nitish Kumar also gave, they created that free loan scheme, which made women have their own livelihood. So having tackled women or, taking care of those needs of women, he thought in 2015 this will be his master stroke or trump card. What really instead it turned out to be was that this is an election issue which means that these women constituency, Ayushman, is turning away from Nitish. Now, Chirag Paswan is sensing an opportunity because of this anger that is there among the women constituency, this erosion that is happening. Chirag Paswan is now questioning Nitish on this issue also, as he has done on multiple governance issues related to Nitish, saying that there has been massive corruption on number of schemes and how there is need for audit.
Right. So that's the sense coming from Ground Zero. Thank you, Maria, for that update from Battleground Bihar. Chirag Paswan taking shots at Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Will it have any effect in the long run? Only time will tell as first phase kicks off on the 20th of October. That's all we have to pack in on the show. More news and updates on the other side.